Yeah,
I think.
they're still fixing the game and everything, but Returnal. So Returnal, we'll talk about briefly because two out of the four guys here, I know they haven't played it that much, but it's like all over social media and stuff. Like people are loving the game, but people are
I'm
also
hating it
hating
at the
it
same
because
time.
of its difficulty and the save feature and stuff, which is non-existent, which is what the problem is. So
I don't
you
know, which I think is silly. It's just like how you can complain about a feature of the game. That's the main feature. You can't really complain about that.
well, I
I
mean,
think
even roguelikes allow you to save at certain points, not start completely over and lose completely everything, except for like the actual objects you get to traverse through the levels, like the
yeah,
sword
you
or the
don't.
grappling hook.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you don't. Like I said, you don't 100% lose everything. Like as you level up, as you go, you start with like a level 5 proficiency and things like that. But as you're going, so you're not just starting from the proficiency. For those that don't know, is as you're in order to get better loot, you get a proficiency rating, and when you start at 0,
Yep,
and higher proficiency, the better the weapons.
yep,
And when you restart, your proficiency goes back to 0, so your loot it's crappy again.
yeah,
So
yeah,
eventually, your loot by default gets certain points on added to it,
yeah.
by playing the game.
For
It's
for anybody who hadn't played it, it's pretty much is a rogue-like game, just a third person like bullet hell shooter. Lots of action, fucking gave me anxiety as hell. Like Danny was listening to me fight the second boss like crazy. Kevin.
yeah,
And
it's one of those things like, oh fuck, I'm ready to boss. Like, I've
it's
been playing for
hard.
2 hours. I'm finally gonna get to a boss. Fuck, how am I supposed to beat it? It brings you back to how Demon Souls originally was before there was the internet and everything.
Yeah.
Like
That word
when
of
they would
mouth
have
of
the
how
internet
hard
for
it
like
is, but fun.
yeah, because it was word of mouth about how hard it was. Everybody knew it was hard and played it. There weren't tons of fucking YouTube videos like that to show you how to beat bosses and everything when that first came out. You know, so you had to learn yourself.
Hmm.
And I feel like that's kind of how this is right now. I mean, yeah, there's YouTube videos to watch it, but it's still on that level of being hard where it's a fucking pain in the ass. You get really far, you're playing 2 hours, you die. Yeah, you're basically starting over your level.
Yep.
Those 2 hours are going to go down
That
the drain.
hurts, man. I was on for 3 hours. Like I was playing for an hour before you logged on, and then I had to go step out to get some dinner. And then when I came back is when you logged on and started playing, and I was still continuing it for another 2 hours when me and you were playing, just to
Yeah,
die in that third level for me, anyways. It's just all that work.
yeah.
So
But
all
you
right,
beat a boss, though, so I mean, that's the thing. It's like the game's meant for you to die. You're
yeah,
supposed to die. You're supposed to constantly restart. You're supposed to get that perfect run and prepare before you fully do it. And the game gives you tons of ways to prepare. And just learning how to do it. I don't know. Honestly, I don't have the time to play a game like that. Like,
mm-hmm.
after playing it, I realized this is going to be a lot more time consuming than I can do
For you,
because again, I
yeah,
don't. For me,
yeah.
it's just for me because I don't have a lot of time to play games. I only have like a few hours usually in the weekend, so it's like I might not do it, and I might just go to straight to Resident Evil.
So
But
so so we can get the other guys in. Did you guys have any impressions of Returnal at all? Like, were you? I know you guys are still working on getting a system because like right now it's stupid, but like, were you guys interested in it at all, Randy?
To be quite honest, I don't think I've seen any like gameplay of it, so I am 110% lost on this.
Okay.
But I mean, it's the hot thing right now, so I'll probably give it a shot. I know that you like I trust your opinion on games and such, so I'm pretty sure that I'll enjoy it whenever I get to it.
You like to invest your time in games. Like I see you like the long
yeah,
games and the
I
games that are
can
more
see I can
deep.
see you. Yeah, for what I've heard, like I think you would get a lot into this.
Yeah.
I think you would really like
Hunter
the game.
alone, I think I already have over 80 hours,
On
so
what?
that's a Monster Hunter.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that if it's a time sink, I'm
But
into it.
so here's the catch with that though, because I know you like those deep games that you could really invest your time in. But how do you feel about the fact that you can invest all your time in it and then just lose almost everything, and then
Well, that's the
you're
thing.
starting
It's
all
like
over? Like, how do you feel about a
this.
game
I
like
think
that?
I think that's the thing about this game. It's not just you invest 3 hours, whatever it is. You really have to plan your hours or what you're gonna do. And I think that's part of what people don't realize that they're gonna end up having to do.
This game is for adults.
Yeah, it really is. Like that this is not a game that a kid comes and picks up and tries to
Yeah.
beat. It's just
So
not gonna
what you're
happen.
telling me is that it's not some easy mode bullshit from
Oh
nowadays.
no.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why
Okay,
this
so
game
I'm
and
in because also like as you say,
that's why this
working
game is
for
really
everything.
impressive.
Yeah, and like working for everything and then like losing it, going into the game knowing that that's a risk that you're like willing to run, almost like a permadeath or like a hardcore
Yeah,
run in certain
yeah.
games, then you know that's what you're getting yourself involved in. So the only thing you could do is just keep on playing until you eventually do get better.
Hmm.
Because like, what is it? Fucking Binding of Isaac. Like that one is again procedurally generated, and I have so much fucking time in that, not just on PC, but even on the Switch.
I didn't think
And
about that. Actually,
and
Binding of Isaac is a really good comparison to Returnal.
dude, even if something is like a measly 20 minutes and you rip right through from the beginning to the end, and you fucking die on that last boss, and you had the perfect item set,
Yeah,
it's so frustrating.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
that
then you
sounds
want
like
to try
exactly
again.
what this is. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
so then you
sounds
want to try again and again and again. And even though like you kind of end up doing the same thing after a while, it's still pretty fun. Like it doesn't lose its appeal at all.
Kevin,
so.
what about you, man?
Um, Roguelites, I just got into it recently. Favorite one right now is Enter the Gungeon because it's very goofy.
Mm-hmm.
So if it can get my attention just like that, I spent what, like, I would say 20, 40 hours playing that game straight, like back to back. I'll enjoy it. If it's not some baby game, like not a baby game, but not a very easy hold your hand kind of game, I'll enjoy it. Even if it's a roguelike. Honestly, I'm looking for challenges. I'm tired of getting
Yeah.
my hand held.
Yeah,
And another thing about this game that I do have to mention, not just the gameplay, but I mean what the game is, but the way it looks.
it's beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful. The scenery and everything. It's very basic when you fully look at it. A lot of dark, shadowy,
Gloomy,
fucking
depressing
rooms.
places. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll look a little bit the same, but then as you unlock the different levels, for what I've seen, the landscape changes up. But the most impressive thing is the amount of crap that comes at you. You know,
Yeah.
and you having to dodge and all
The
that.
the lighting helps out a lot because you, like we said, like it's partly a bullet hell type game, so there's lots of bullets
Yeah.
coming at you. So like the bullets are like luminescent kind of, so like the lighting as it passes through the levels and stuff like that, and the shadows and just everything it hits it looks so
It's
good.
really gorgeous and not a single load.
Yeah.
If you realize, like, obviously they hide it really well, but it's really, while you're playing the game until you die, really hard to find those loads. Because sometimes, you know, you can find those load screens when they're opening their door or
course.
some bullshit like that.
Yeah.
This
Especially
hides
for
it
hardcore
really well.
veteran
Yeah.
gamers will notice it. But Kevin, you
Yeah.
had something to say?
No, it's like it's like the darks are darks, the dark is dark, and then the light is light. Like it's very like
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
shows a lot.
Very.
Yeah.
Okay, so
It's
then
very
I'm in.
nice the way they do it. And then the haptic, what they call it, haptic control. They call
The
it.
haptic feedback and the triggers.
What's the control? Is it haptic
I
trigger?
don't.
What do they call
Who
it?
cares? I don't know.
We're
We know what
calling
we're
it
talking
haptic
about.
trigger. But
Yeah.
they've invented with that a secondary button. They figured out a way to
Yeah,
make that
the R2 and L2 buttons turned into two
R2
buttons.
They're two buttons, and you as you're playing.
Wait, hold on. Excuse me.
So
The buttons are buttons. Is that what you just said?
so L2 and
Buttons are
R2, you know
buttons.
how you press the button, it's a button, right? But the
Okay.
game, what you do is that you could press it halfway and you aim down the sight, but if you push it all the way down, you trigger
into
your
alt.
alt for
Yeah,
your
your alternate
for your weapon.
For your weapon.
Oh.
So
So
it's
it
two
feels-
buttons.
So it feels like it's two buttons. It feels
Yeah.
like you're pressing two different buttons, but you're not. You know what I mean? Like
Okay,
very
no, I get it.
very innovative. The way they finally used that, because it was, you know, the first time I did that was in the fuck, Borderlands 3,
Mm-hmm.
where all the weapons, you feel the machine gun, you got the, you're only allowed to press it like partial way, and then you have to rev it up by pressing it down more, and the more you press it down, the more it revs up. That was the first game I played it, but it was like, it wasn't clunky, but you can tell what they were doing, and it just felt like, just seemed like just like pushback or whatever. Like, oh, if you're doing a bow, you feel like as you're holding the bow, the button gets harder to press. So, like, things like that. It was just, I get it, but it wasn't two different buttons like this. This feels like crazy.
It feels like it too. Like, yeah,
it's a fun feature that they added.
Yeah. So, all right, let's stop with
sound,
the actual talk on the game.
Quick, the sound is also really good. I have a headset with a 3D thing, and that's very, very bizarre.
So aside from the game itself, I do have a question about this that everybody can answer. Me and Danny, we had an episode quite a while back talking about $70 games and the pricing of games nowadays. So Returnal was $70, and looking at that price when I first pre-ordered it, I was like, "Ooh, this is my first $70 game." Okay, I'm doing this, and I bought it. So, like,
that's not your first $70 game.
I didn't buy anything else $70.
Demon's Souls.
Demons was I wouldn't know because I used it. I had a gift card, so yeah, I didn't know.
That's your first $70 one.
All right, so yeah, but that's $70 out of my own pocket. I guess I could put it that way. So how do you guys? Me and Danny already had this conversation. I want to know what you guys think about the $70 price tags or the trend that might be the $70 for, like, the new gen games and stuff like that. What do you guys think about that?
Kevin first.
Oh, I was about to say Randy first. In my case, it's different because I drop that type of money like often. I'm not saying like I'm a baller, but I like if I like
I got money, that's nothing for me.
Yeah, but for me, listen. I've recently got the Warrior Orochi game. Orochi, I think that's how you pronounce it. Orochi, that one. And that game alone is $60. And then if you want to buy the upgrade, it's $50, or you can get the $60.
Orochi 4?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, hello. Yeah. Okay, we can to play later, if anything.
Yeah, we definitely got something to play. Okay. And that game, you drop like easy. You could drop it easy, like $130, $140 with the 2-pack. Like, literally, you're buying the game, and then you're buying the upgrade. And the upgrade is the same price almost the same price as the game.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, that's buying, like, these extra editions.
A very large package of things. Yeah.
We just need, like, base game for $70. Like, no DLC, not like a Game of the Year edition, no like Ultimate Edition or whatever the fuck.
I mean, it's
$70 on the game. That's it. No DLC, no season pass.
No season pass, no like collector's edition or none of that.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like it's gonna be like one of those things that it's bound to happen because games were $60 a couple years ago. Before then was like $50, and now like before was $50. I mean, it's like $40. So it's like it's bound to go up. It's just how it works. They have to put more money into the game, and they have to basically make the money back. So it's like a whatever kind of thing. It doesn't really bother me. It's just gonna hurt when I start buying the collector's edition that's $150, and it's not worth $150. You know what I mean? Like that. It's a.
No, and then see, that's also another thing. Are games really worth $70?
No.
I guess it depends on the game, though.
It all depends on the game.
Well, yes and no. Honestly, I wouldn't pay $70 for fucking Kingdom Hearts 4. Honestly, just give me that shit for 60, and that's it.
Okay, because I was about to say, would you consider Kingdom Hearts 3 a game that's worth $60?
No, first off, I wouldn't even consider it to be worth $20.
And that's still the comparison I'm talking about. Because I agree with Randy too. I wouldn't pay a full price tag for Kingdom Hearts 3 because it felt like just an extended DLC, I guess you can say. It was just a revamp of the system they had in Part 2 with a bunch of really bad features in it, or really bad mechanics. I could say.
No. They ripped apart.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is that they still basically use like the same art style, the same engine, the same mechanics in a sense.
No, it was a different engine.
You know what I mean?
It was Unreal.
No. That's not what I meant. You know what I mean? Like it's just it was just too similar. In a lot of ways. So when you have a brand new game that you're making from the ground up, such as Returnal, for example, or let's say we got a new franchise coming out or anything like that. I don't think Resident Evil was is $70. I think is it 70?
No, it's
Or
six. It's 60. The base game. I'm not sure if it's 60, but it's 60 base game and then 70 with the season. I mean the deluxe edition.
Yeah. It's just like I think it's just a case by case basis because it also depends on how much the developers are spending to make this game as well. Like even though you might disagree with how the quality is or the length or whatever it is that gets you going on a video game, it's still also dependent on how much money they put into the game. They're just like, all right, we got to try to get as much money as we can. Charge another $10. We're gonna have to charge you $70.
Yeah, but no. Also, because I mean, wasn't like Cyberpunk a really fucking costly game or something? No, like to put a serious perspective.
No, you're right.
You're
right.
I'm just saying, I find it funny because it's like that's like the comparison that everybody could use. You're like, well, Cyberpunk was like not worth the money at all.
Yeah, no, of course, and it's not the shit on it, but like I'm gonna shit on it, but I don't know, like just 70 is a weird number to begin with, and not everything is worth a whole $60. Not everything is worth a whole $70. So it's like a fucking Xbox Live Arcade game. Like let's say Bastion. Let's say that was $60. Fuck no. As great of a game as it is, I wouldn't fucking shell out 60 for it.
All right, so I have a question.
You get what I mean though?
Yeah, I understand. So like, then it becomes like becomes one of those things of like a remake. Let's say for example, right, the RE4 that's coming out for fucking VR. Do you think it deserves to be $60?
No.
15.
Half the work is done for them.
Yeah. So then
all
that's
they
what
have to do is stick a camera in Leon's head and that's it.
Same. That's the same way I felt when my brother paid $40 for this. Even if the game is really good, I'm like, it's like the work is done for you.
Yo, that glare was fucking crazy.
Yeah. You're basically putting everything from one to another, and it's not that much work. So it's like it's one of those things that it's like I understand it. It doesn't make a lot of sense to a lot of people, but it's like they have to make their money back. Okay, cool. But some games it's going to be like a case by case, like Danny said earlier, a case by case situation that either some games are going to get the $70 hit, and then some games are going to be 60, some games are going to be 65, some games are going to be 55. It's just how much it's going to be like that.
I feel like I'm saying it's a case by case basis, and that's what I see it. That's what I see it should be, but I also see it as like companies in general are gonna try to be slick and greedy and be like, all right, everything is $70, and then piss everybody off, and then slowly kind of like back away from it. All right, never mind. No, this one's gonna be $60. No, this one's gonna be $50 because then they're gonna find out they can't get away with it like that because they're gonna try to pull as much money as they can. Danny, you quiet there for a minute.
Because
Before we go on to, let me just quickly put this one out.
Yeah.
A lot of fan bases are definitely willing to shell out the money for it. We all know that like Call of Duty, fucking 2K, these generic ass fucking games that everyone plays, no one cares. Even though it's the same goddamn thing that they just put out every year, people are still going to pay $70 for it because they're extreme fanboys.
but
Call of Duty, you get away with it. Sure, sorry.
yes. Hey, here's the thing that I think that right now this is what they're looking at. Looking at how can I make money off of these games, right? Can I actually do microtransactions? A lot of those ESPN games, a lot of those things
Those
like that.
definitely can.
But they don't because they make them every year, so they don't really. A lot of them. The roster.
Well, they have roster changes. They have DLCs and season stuff to change up rosters and shit, and I mean costumes and skins and big head mode or whatever it may be.
But again, the ESPN is a horrible example because they're super greedy and it's one of those things where they've already established themselves.
Yeah,
you can put like you said, he said, you can put $80 for people buy it. It's just competitions, all that bullshit, whatever. But other games, let's say like.
So what about these single player
Demon's
games?
Souls?
Yeah,
like the single player games. Those games you have to look at. Like if I'm gonna release Demon's Souls, can I make any more money off of this via any kind of microtransactions or DLC? No, I can't. It's not gonna make any sense. DLC, it's not going to be worth doing it. It's not going to make the game any better or do anything for it. So let's put it at $70, make as much money as you can, and just leave it alone. Do another one. Now, Returnal might be the same thing. Yeah, you can probably do some control like DLCs, but will they probably? Maybe not, because this is very storyline driven. This game, it's not just. I mean, yeah, it's about all the crazy stuff, but it's very storyline driven, as we see. So, can you actually make a DLC that makes sense? Maybe they can't. So, therefore, that's why they have this high price tag, because they know we're not going to have microtransactions. We're not going to fucking try to sell you. And they already do have skins. For some reason, I have 3 skins. Don't know why. I bought the base game, you know. But it's not something they know you're going to try to buy a whole bunch of, different type of skins, whatever. That's not going to happen. It's not play to win, so you can't buy weapons and armor and all that bullshit. So, yeah, they made it $70 because they know this is all they're going to get for this game. Then they're going to have to start over. Now, a game like Outriders, they know they're going to have tons of microtransactions eventually, whether it be buying emojis or whatever bullshit, and then tons of DLC. They're already planning their DLCs. So you know they're going to make their money there. And their DLCs are expensive. $40 for a DLC is not cheap. That's damn near a game, for something that's not even the third of the original, you don't get that much more time.
Yeah.
So it is very expensive. So I think they're gonna be weighing every time they come out with a new game. They're gonna be weighing that. Like if it's just the Crash Bandicoot 2 and no fucking whatever, yeah, it might be $70. The next Kingdom Hearts, they know they're not gonna do any real expansions and DLC and like put anything in it. It might be $70. I think that's gonna be the trend now. The only thing that can kill that trend is if people like I originally kind of think is people go, well, $70 for a one-player game that I'm not really playing, but I'll wait till it drops down, and then once they start buying it, then they might go, okay, maybe the price is way too much. Maybe we should just bring it back to that 59 where everybody's comfortable at buying.
Yeah, that's a good point, because a lot of publishers, they determine whether a game would have a sequel or not depending on how well they do in the first couple weeks. So at the first couple weeks, a lot of people were like, all right, that's just too expensive, I'm going to wait. And then the sales drop. There's no potential for a sequel because the publisher's like, all right, no, that game's no good.
Can I tell you this?
I'm not gonna lie. I looked at that fucking game and I was like, I don't know if I want to buy this or not.
Yeah, Kevin.
There was one game that literally held their audience at gunpoint, and it was No More Heroes. Travis Strikes Back, and it was like he was like, oh, if this game doesn't do good, I'm not gonna release No More Heroes 3. I was like, that's a threat. That's like the biggest threat I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
The game did decent, and then he announced No More Heroes 3. But I felt like it was like a joke, but he was like 90% serious about it.
Yeah, of course. All right, so final thoughts about Returnal. Or sorry, not Returnal. Sorry, I meant the $70 price tag stuff. The idea of it.
Yeah, I was confused on that.
I'm okay with it since I pay close to that price. Paying $65 is basically like $5 off, so it'll be like $75. You know what I mean? Like a new game is like $65 with tax and whatever. Like it's $5 more. I don't think it's gonna be that bad. But then when it jumps to like $80 and $90, then I'm gonna start like Danny said, I'm gonna wait for the game to drop and be like, oh, okay, I'll wait for the price to drop and pick it up.
$79 is $80. That's a fucking expensive game.
That's expensive.
Yeah. Randy.
I never get games on initial release at full price, honestly. So most of the time it's like, fuck it. When it goes down, I get it. Well, I did get Hunter.
Yeah, I was about to shoot you in the foot with that.
Well, I mean, you have your rare moments.
You have your rare moments.
Like if I do wait for a game, then yeah, like I was anticipating this, so I got that full price. Aside from last game, I got full price. I think was Sekiro actually.
Ooh.
So that was a while back.
Damn. Okay. Me was Days Gone and Jump Force. And Jump Force, I dropped money for both those games.
I don't like waiting. I like to play my stuff because if I wait, I end up getting a big backlog of games, and I like to stay as caught up as possible. So yeah, I can't wait for the most part. That's just me.
In my defense, we all know I don't really like new shit.
Yeah, yeah, we all
That's
know.
fair.
Yeah.
And you and
So
you
with
and
that,
you like the underdogs of gaming stuff also, kind of like things that are obscure or kind of like how do you call them, cult hits and stuff like that.
yeah, because they're actually innovative. Like they're fun. They have their own thing. They're unique, and
Yeah,
that's like the biggest thing with me. Like the game has to actually have something that will catch me, because I'm not gonna sit here fucking play Call of Duty. I'm not gonna sit here play Uncharted from beginning to the end, and I'm gonna be like, wait, which one am I on again?
yeah.
Like it after a
Eight.
while, it just gets boring. So fuck it.
Mm.
Like
I feel
Sakuna,
you.
that a fucking farming sim and a 2D act like side scrolling thing.
Yeah,
That's really
Mhm.
fun.
yeah.
But
Mm,
it's not everyone's cup of tea. I understand that. And that's fine.
mhm.